This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everyone, welcome to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. As always, we are your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with my son, Anthony Ray. First and foremost, guys, we want to thank you so much for listening to us. We also want to thank our producer, Mark Winter, and Pet Life Radio for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. Guys, once again, Anthony, how you doing? What's up? What's going on?
I'm all right. I haven't really slept in a week. I got a kitten.
You got a kitten?
Yeah.
I'm pretending like I didn't know about it.
You got a kitten? Yeah, that, the one you were hanging out with the other day and the day before that and the day after that.
It's radio, man. Come on. You got to make it sound good.
Yeah, his name is Dante, and he's adorable, and I love him, so I haven't slept in 7 days.
He is adorable, though.
Yeah, he's a cutie. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm, I'm taking this new pill. It's called Tropicana or something, it's supposed to make like your hair grow back. Yeah.
Not working too good, is it, huh?
No, not well. It says it takes like 60 days.
And what have you been doing for 90?
120.
Great. It's really working, Dad. Awesome.
Yeah, but So what are you doing? You training the cat, Anthony? Are you trying to train
the cat, which is perfect for our guest today, ironically.
Yeah, we have such a superstar guest. We got the very talented Chrissy Joy coming up in a little bit. She is the trainer and owner of Beasley, the Chewy.com dog.
Awesome. It's such a fun show we got lined up for you guys.
Yep. We love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Training. Got to do training.
You got to train. You know what? And when you see some of the stuff that Chrissy Joy does training, it's amazing because we had the liberty of meeting Beasley over at the World Dog Expo this past year. And, Beasley's hugging you and he just does, we can't even train Anthony to use the toilet still. So,
Well, a set of braces still couldn't train your teeth to be straight. So, you know what? Why don't you back it down there, Baldy? I don't care. Gloves are off.
You know what I think? I think I'm just like a tablet away of my hair growing in. Like maybe it just didn't kick in yet or something.
Yeah, it just didn't take yet. That's all.
But yeah.
Let me say something about Chrissy before we go to break and bring her in here. I have never felt less impressive as a person in my life from meeting Chrissy Joy. And you know as well as I do, I have literally never met somebody as impressive and interesting and hardworking as Chrissy Joy. It's insane. I mean, preparing for this episode was impossible. Where do you even start?
The girl, listen, just look her up. Chrissy Joy. The girl's hitting the ground running, man. Yeah. That's all there is to it. She's geared.
Yeah. I'm so happy she decided to come on the show because she's great. And we're not even going to be able to get it all done in one episode, I bet. Just watch. We're going to have her on like 10 times.
We'll ask her. We'll ask her if she'll come on because she's got too much stuff going on. We can't get it all in one show, but we'll get her on again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go to a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be chatting it up with the awesome Chrissy Joy right after this.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. Once again, we are your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with my son, Anthony Ray. And with no further ado, as mentioned before the break, we want to introduce our very, very special guest, the very talented Chrissy Joy. Chrissy, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on and talking to us today.
Hi, yes, thanks for having us. We're a little sleep deprived today, but we're doing great.
Yeah. Well, you're very busy, and that's always good to hear. But first and foremost, Chrissy, I want to say, love your name, Chrissy Joy. It just instantly makes me happy. So love the name Chrissy Joy. And also, we hear that you are a fellow New Jerseyan, so that also makes us very happy. You know what I'm saying, Chrissy?
I do know what you're saying. Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, and I grew up right on the shore, so Jersey Shore. You could find me always right off of Lincoln Avenue in Avon Beach. And yeah, that's where I grew up and love it. And my parents still have their home there now.
That is so good to hear. We love hearing that. We love our fellow Jerseyans. We love everybody. But it's always nice when we hear that somebody else is from New Jersey because, you know, again, being from Jersey, coming from such a small state and watching people like you just change your lives and do the things that you're doing. And your credentials just speak for themselves. You're NBC, CBS, FX, ABC, 2010. You did Rachel Ray. Could you just tell us a little bit about your journey, Chrissy? How did you get to where you are right now?
Sure. So always had a passion for training animals, which actually came out in the version of training horses, and I went to college for that. Fast forward to also having a lot of passion on the flip side of film and production. And so as a little girl, I always wanted to work animals on set. That was like my goal. I would watch movies like The Black Stallion, Black Beauty, like, you know, old black and whites, and I would try to watch the credits of how those animals were provided on set as like a 9-year-old, go figure. But I didn't know how to marry those two worlds. So I spent a lot of time traveling the country as an actress with the Screen Actors Guild and still training animals on the side, but just never was able to marry both worlds together until I adopted my dog Beasley after working for Discovery Channel for a little while and training him. And once I got started with training through a great facility that I still work with today, BFF Pet Services, we were able to get some titling and get some credentials behind our training. And I started to pitch it to talent agencies. And from there, everything just kind of started to grow. Started out with small commercials. And now we're at the point of, you know, I've worked with Paramount Pictures. Beasley just did a movie with Lionsgate called Agent Toby Barks, and things kind of keep growing. So it's turned out to be very rewarding, but of course, a lot of hard work in the beginning.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And for those of you out there who may not know Beasley, Beasley is the Chewy.com dog, and Chrissy is his owner and trainer. So that's also just such a beautiful story. Can you talk a little bit about that, Chrissy? How did you and Beasley come to meet? How did you guys come together?
Sure. So, I wish I had like this story where I walked into the shelter on a rainy day and, you know, walked through the kennels and found him in the corner.
Right.
I don't have one of those stories. I will say, though, I was going through a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression during my job change from Discovery. It was just a really rocky time. And I decided that I needed something to focus on. And I hadn't had a dog in my life since I was a little girl. And I said, I think it's time to adopt a dog. And I just, this sounds kind of cliche, but I just went on Pet Finder and I saw his picture as a 8-week-old puppy. And there was nothing crazy about the picture. In fact, he didn't even look that amazing, but I just knew that was my dog. I knew that was him. That was him. There was no question about it. And we waited about a week or two. So we were back from travel and it was around Thanksgiving. And then we went up there and they said they couldn't hold him. So they hoped he would be there when we got there. And I barely slept the night before and he was there. So moving forward from that, we, he is the 2018 National Stunt Dog Champion.
Yes.
And with that being said, we like to do live performances and shows based on building people's self-esteem, focusing on anti-bullying and empowerment and like how a dog finds you and loves you unconditionally I want children to feel the same way, no matter what shape, size, color, or interest they have.
Oh, wow. That's just beautiful. That's better than the cliche story. And we love what you're doing, and we're all for that. It's kind of the purpose of our show, too. We just want to enhance the pet industry itself and enhance people like us that, put ourselves forward to do all these great things. And our love for animals, I think, is universal and what gets us all there. But again, I just love that. I think that you and Beasley are soulmates.
Yes, thank you. I believe that too. We really do work well together. And I have to say my issues with, and I say issues lightly, but anxiety and mental health, depression, things like that, very much controlled with having a dog in my life. So he has given me so much without even having to do anything. It's a blessing that we can work and train and thrive together and do all of these things together in that sense. But take it all away and he would still fulfill my life by just being a dog.
You know what, Chrissy, I commend you for that, because all too often people with issues like that, anxiety, depression, we're also the type of people that really always move forward and push forward through it all, showing our strength. And I think it's great that you want to share that with everybody, because all too often people with issues like that will hold themselves back, and you're just a testimony of how you could break through. And again, we just love having you on the show for that reason and telling your truth. It's brave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, I want to make it clear to my listeners and the listeners of this awesome show is that, I have my bad days too. There's no doubt about it. Like, you have to tread lightly when you look at social media, because you can think, wow, that person really has their life together and it's just one adventure after another. I go through some periods of time where I just cannot get motivated, or I cannot get out of my own way. But you have to kind of take a step back and let yourself heal and rest. Like, there's something else telling you need to take a step back. You need to reassess your priorities. You need to take care of yourself first, so you can then get back on top. It's not a matter of you can't get back on top. It's a matter of just reassessing, why is it that you are feeling this way? Or maybe you need to give yourself a little bit of a break, or you need to reprioritize a little bit more. But I just want people to know that there's no way that this life over here is perfect. Everyone has their issues and downs.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? It makes me think of, I'm pretty sure that this is one of your favorite quotes, or maybe your quote, but you say, take chances and make opportunities. And I love that.
Yes. It's funny. I've been saying that since 2010 when I left college early. I graduated early. And I said, you know what? I'm going to New York and I'm going to do acting. And my parents were horrified.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but it's all about, if you don't take that chance, you could sit back and you could see things come by, or you can be, well, I wish I had that, or wish that how it happened to me. And sometimes you got to take those chances. And by taking those chances and meeting those people and doing those things you never thought you'd do, or you have someone in the back of your mind saying, no, I don't think that's a good idea, or what if this happens? What if that happens? You just have to try it, or else nothing's ever going to happen. And make opportunities. We're so blessed when opportunities come our way, but until you can get to that point where things start coming to the door, you have to go out there and make it for yourself.
That's so true.
That's a perfect point. Speaking of that, take us through what it was like getting started with the Chewy commercials. That's a perfect example of what you were just talking about. That must be nuts.
Right. It was nuts. We were on set for Disney. It was our first job. We were so blessed to work with Disney. It was like our first job with Felix the pug, who was amazing. And as soon as Disney ended, as soon as we were last, and they're like, hey, in 2 days, we'd love Beasley for Chewy. And I was ecstatic. This is my first opportunity. So excited. And they're like, it's in Miami. Now, mind you, I'm in DC. So there was no flying my dog. I had to drive. So in one day, I drove from DC to Miami with no idea what I was getting into, other than I had a trick-trained dog and we wanted to do this kind of work. Turns out we were actually hired as the backup, which is fine. We get paid either way, but we weren't hired as the main talent. They had a beautiful golden retriever they intended to use. Well, truth is in the pudding, and unfortunately this dog was a little untrained and a little too nervous. So although the dog was gorgeous, didn't have the skills to manage working from a distance, holding things like duration on stay, things like that. And and it kind of caused a little bit of tension, and a little bit of people were a little uncomfortable with how the dog was being worked, because it was getting stressful for both owner and dog. And as we all know, we get frustrated and it comes out on our dog and things don't go well. So they very quickly pulled the dog and the owner, and then they came to us and they said, and I always love to say this, they said, "So does your dog like know these actions? Like, can he do things?" And I was like, "Oh, can he do things?" And we came out there and we showed off all these tricks, and it was just like we had the floor. And I also learned so much in that moment as a trainer, and like what I should be teaching my dog for this kind of work to be better and to succeed. Every time I work on set, I learn something new. Like last night, I was just in a tree, a gigantic tree, up really, really high. I climbed my way up there, and I worked my dog from the tree because the eye line was better for the movie, and the dog was able to see me better. So you do some crazy stuff, but you learn how quickly you can adjust the way you train and adjust the way you work with your dog to get the job done. It's all about flexibility. Wow. So Chewy was a great experience. And the Chewy family is amazing. They donate everything after their shoots to rescue. So I'm a huge fan.
Oh, definitely. God bless them. Yeah, definitely.
There's always Chewy boxes on my porch. My neighbor downstairs has an enormous German Shepherd who's an absolute sweetheart, and she uses Chewy. And I actually just got a kitten about a week ago, so we'll be hitting up Chewy too. And yeah, Chewy's just so huge.
Yeah. Yes, it's great. And I'm really happy with the family, even as they changed. I think PetSmart owns them now, if I have that correctly.
Yeah.
But nothing's changed. Their customer service is still top notch, and they've actually brought us back for their Christmas commercials. So we did their Christmas commercials last year, and not only did we get to bring Beasley back, but we got to bring Felix, who is Beasley's best friend. So there were a lot of fun.
That is so cute.
A lot of fun Christmas stuff going on in Florida.
That's awesome. And we're so grateful, too, because we had the opportunity of meeting Beasley and Felix at the World Dog Expo in past June. So we appreciate
back
that.
Next year.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Yep. I love the community. I love how, these beautiful animals are just bringing everybody together, and professionals like yourself. And I can't say enough about you just taking on all these challenges, because it just makes for, just like you're saying, just better and better, and you're just increasing and you're learning, and that's the beauty of all of this. But I have a question for you here, Chrissy. People will look at a dog like Beasley and, he's on commercials, he's in movies, so they'll see like the star quality in the dog. But my question to you is, and I think a lot of people might want to know this too, how is he on that personal level? How is he at home? Like, does he have like a favorite toy? Does he sleep with you? What is he in the house? What's he like?
Sure. That's a great question. And I always wish I had these like exciting grand stories, but what I find really important is this. So when he's home, he sleeps. He is probably the biggest supporter of the conservation of energy.
Oh.
He is a very big believer in that. He sleeps all the time. And I think that's, he suffers from inflammatory bowel disease. So, when we work on set, it's a lot of energy output. It's a lot of, a little bit of a dietary change, but it's just a different schedule. We work 12-hour days. So the dog, you think about your training sessions where everyone says, shorter the training session, the better. It's true. And then you try to work a dog for 8-hour plus days, that takes a lot out of them.
Oh, sure.
So he sleeps a lot, but another thing for me is that I do very short sessions at home of training, maybe 5 minutes a time, but not much more than that. And I also do things that are going to fill my dog's cup. For example, we just got back today. Beasley's sleeping. My other puppy here, Whidbey, is being a border collie and chewing on everything. But we're going to go and we're going to take a hike later today in the evening. That way they can fill their cup. There's no pressure. There's no stress. There's no asking for training. Treat pouch isn't coming out. Just go be a dog.
Right.
Because
he could just be a dog. Exactly.
You've got to have that balance. I mean, he doesn't really have a favorite toy. He is just, I swear, he's the worker bee. He loves to work. Other than that, you can find him on the deck in his lounge chair, and he'll sleep there all day.
Oh, wow.
He puts himself out on his lounge chair and will be there all day long.
That is so good to hear. And I because I want people to know that too, because since we've been starting this, we've met trainers like Sarah Carson, Felicia Foy, and it's like I feel like not everybody knows, and a lot of people would ask, when do these dogs get to just be dogs? And that must be such a big part of it. And it's very, very important, actually, right? Like you just said, it's like they have to unwind a little, just like we do.
It really is important. And when I'm on set, I've become a little, when you first start a job, you're like, I'll do anything, whatever you want, right?
Sure.
I've become a little bit more to say, the more the dog just stands there and looks at me expectantly and is in the scene, like just standing around, maybe maybe it's warm out, maybe it's, tons of people around. Dogs get mentally exhausted just from being in a situation like that. So, I've been a little bit more protective about conserving my dog's energy. So when they're done working, they're not socializing and hanging out, but I put them in their crate and they put in a quiet area so they can recharge and rest. And I'm becoming a little bit more protective about utilizing their work time and their downtime so they can be sure that they're really getting a good balance of, because they don't operate like we do, but they get a good balance of, hey, I'm working and okay, good. This is my time where I can just rest, close my eyes and be away from it all.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How is the puppy coming along, Chrissy?
He's amazing. He
Yeah.
is the second youngest titled champion trick dog in the world.
Oh, God.
So we really had fun achieving that title at a very young age. He was 14 weeks, already getting stuff from the fridge, bringing it to you, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're just working on duration and distance because as a puppy, the impulse control, is a little low.
Right.
So although he has mastered these tricks, now we're working on him holding things for longer periods of time or doing it from a greater distance. So that's what we work on now. But he's great. He's had a couple commercials already. You can find him in Home Depot. He's on all the little gift cards. And or he will be soon. And we did something for Earthborn Holistic, which is a dog food, and a couple other small gigs. He's doing really well. He learns really well on set. He's very social, and we have really big plans for him coming up. And segue into kind of the event side of things, we'll be at World Dog Expo again next year with something completely new and different, which we're very excited about. Awesome. And also something on a nationwide level will be a part of next year, but I can't say anything else than that.
Oh, man, not even a sneak peek?
I know.
We understand.
Speaking of sneak peeks, what can you tell us, if anything, about Agent Toby Barks? And if I've already said too much, then we'll cut it out, but I don't know.
No. It's fine. The artwork is officially out. So the Agent Toby Barks cover is out, which is the artwork you'll find for the future DVD or trailer release, things like that. John Lovitz is doing his voiceover, and Beasley plays the role of a Psy. So he does a lot of cool stunts in a Psy dog scenario, and they are actually CGIing his mouth to move. So it's going to be great. As a trainer, it was just probably the coolest experience I've ever had because it allowed me to really utilize his tricks and skills. They didn't have to hire a puppeteer because Beasley could operate things on his own. Like he could type on the keyboard. He could pull, he could use the mouse with his paw. They didn't have to. And when I say hire a puppeteer, what they do is they'll create like a fake paw to do some of those more challenging elements.
Right.
But being a dog trainer, it was just right in my element to say, oh my gosh, we can make this happen. And also Dean Cain is in it, who is actually fantastic to work with. And if you don't know Dean Cain, he's like the original Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger's body double is the bad guy. He's perfectly fitting, and he is gigantic and also one of the friendliest people I've met. But it's a great fit. So it's coming out. I don't have a final date yet, but I know there'll be several premieres. And the most exciting thing is that Lionsgate picked it up. So,
wow.
And Lionsgate is pretty big in the film industry, so we're really excited to be partnered with them through this.
Yeah, sure.
For sure. Yeah.
God, it's so exciting. You have so many exciting things to talk about. I love this. This is great.
Yeah, and on another note, we just finished filming Clifford the Big Red Dog, and that was in New York City with Paramount Pictures, and so that'll be out later next year as well.
Wow. That's terrific, Chrissy. We're so happy for you. We're just so happy. And you know what? You couldn't get a better voiceover than John Lovitz. How funny is John Lovitz?
When they said it was him, I was like, if you had to do a voice, that's pretty on spot to what I would do for Beasley. So,
yeah, it's terrific.
want to also say, some people will be like, well, I don't believe in dogs in the entertainment world, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's a borderline of you're working your dog and you're pushing your dog. To make a point there, the Humane Association is there to approve or deny your production on set. And they're there to vouch for you and your dog and to make sure everything is safe. And from a personal experience, I have only had the most wonderful times on set with production where if something is making you a little nervous, they jump in 150% and either fix it or remove it or do whatever they can to make sure the dog is comfortable and safe. And to me, that just speaks so much for the film industry. And I think that in the past, they've just had such a bad rap, but nowadays it's just so much more protected and regulated.
Yeah, and so important to have that too, because we want all of that to be noticed, and the protection of the animal is just so important. Yeah, so definitely agree with that. And so where do you see, in your personal opinion, Chrissy, where do you see maybe the pet industry going? Where do you see the near future of all of this? Because it's just growing so rapidly between dogs and vet shows and grooming shows and trainers and rescue workers. Do you feel like this big sense of unity like I do?
Absolutely. I think that also, and there's a little bit of an ode to the millennials with that.
Yeah.
And I think that, being just due to statistics, if it's still correct from what I remember reading a little while ago, is that people are having less kids and they're having more pets.
Yeah.
There might be some financial reasons behind that and job opportunities. But as far as that goes, I think there's absolutely a growth in the pet world, the support of animals, and seeing animals in film and television and print ads. For the sake of it, makes you feel good, and they're readily available. And I think people just feel an instant connection to having animals, a part of things in life. You're seeing a lot more dog-friendly places come out, and you're seeing a lot more push for rescue. I think, and I'm the one that sits happily on the fence. I am a supporter of rescues. I'm also a supporter of responsible breeders.
Sure.
But I think you're going to continue to see this push, especially when people can find a commonality with owning pets, and not just dogs, but cats and small animals and reptiles and horses. And there's a camaraderie that goes on there and a friendship where, you can all relate. And they do a lot for us that goes unspoken. And I think it's becoming more apparent that they offer so much of a partnership and kind of like this unspoken bond that I think you're seeing more now than ever. And whether that just be due to the times changing and, just like I said, millennials, because they're traveling more and they want to kind of go places and visit and do things and do things with their pet. You don't leave your pet at home as much anymore.
Yeah.
It's become this, take your dog with you.
Sure,
Take
part
your
of the family.
Yeah. And so I think you're seeing a lot more push of making these places more friendly. And with that, in the crossover of a product sense, I think you're seeing a lot of, well, we do these things for ourselves. Why can't we do these things for our pets? Including some things that might be a little, as they would say today, bougie,
Sure.
where it's
a
little surplus and like dressing your dog up, painting their nails, things like that. But they want to have these experiences with their pets. And so I think you're seeing a gigantic push in making almost the animal more human-like in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's great that we humanize our pets a little bit more, or a lot more. We even see it in the grooming industry where, talk about bougie. I mean, we have people that want certain shampoos and they want certain bows and putting their dog's hair and it just for events. But we love it all. We welcome it all because like you just said, like we just really want to enhance their lives and make them feel like they are part of the family, because they are.
Absolutely. And also, and there's always this and this is like a whole other topic, but there's always this discussion of, do you call your dog your kid or do you call your dog your partner, or how do you view that? You know what I mean? And I tend to go on the line of my partner because I don't humanize them too much. I do understand they have instincts and they are a dog. They have crate time. Mommy needs a break kind of deal. But they are a huge part of the family. But I still would call them my partner more than anything else, because I have to remember at the end of the day that they are still an animal.
Right. You're so right about that.
They can still have those instinctual drives and reactions that brings them back to their primal sense and takes them away from kind of that, moment where you think you know everything about your dog. They can surprise you. So it's good to keep that in mind.
For sure.
Wow, that is so cool. All right, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, Chrissy has a very funny SNL story that she was telling us earlier before we started recording. We definitely want you guys to hear it. So we're going to talk about that and a few other things when we come back on Groomer Humor.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. I am your host, Anthony Ray, along with my dad, Rudy V. And let me tell you guys something. Our guest today is absolutely killing it at life. We have the awesome Chrissy Joy on our show today, and she is just awesome. She is killing it. You should have seen me and my father for the last couple of weeks trying to prepare for this episode, because where do you even start with Chrissy? She has so much going on. She's just absolutely killing it, like I said. So, Chrissy, I'm going to hold you to this. You absolutely have to come on the show again at some point in the future, because we've only tipped the iceberg with you. I mean, you have so much stuff going on.
Thank you. I would love to come back. And honestly, you completely lifted my day after, getting in at 4 a.m. And, it's been a really tough couple of past days of filming, and you're tired. You feel completely a mess. My car's still packed. But, Thank you for such a kind sentiment. It kind of lifts me back up and kind of puts me back on my feet.
And thank you too, Chrissy, because honestly, we've been so excited about having you on, and you're so talented, and we could not be happier for the successes that you're having and that you're going to continue to have. And we got to see you perform at World Dog this past June, and we're so happy we got to meet you and sort of just get close to you, and we can't wait to come up and visit you up at your facility there and do a couple videos with you for the YouTube channel. And it's so exciting. I'm loving the energy that we got here today on the show.
I can't wait to see what we can do together when you come and visit our facility and see everybody there. And also, I hope to see you at World Dog again next year.
Oh, of course.
For sure.
Be there?
Without
Good.
question.
Oh, yeah.
Without question. We'd love to sit down and talk with you on camera and, talk about some other things too, based on some training and, whatever. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions from our viewers and our listeners that they're going to want us to ask you. So we're definitely going to, pencil us in for that. At some point next year at World Dog Expo, we want to actually sit down with you. We'll film it. And people could see us hanging out together and sharing some stories, and I don't know.
That sounds great to me, honestly. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. All right, everybody. So before the break, we mentioned that Chrissy had a very funny SNL story. We're going to get to that in just a second. First, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Bonafide Talent Group. Let's chat it up about the group a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'll give you a really quick backstory, because I feel like it's so much easier to have a little backstory or something. So I worked with a lot of talent agencies around the United States. I had, as an actress, I had someone in Washington State, Kentucky, Texas, Pennsylvania, New York, on and on. And so I had a lot of talent agencies for people, and I was doing a lot of acting. But I also transitioned over to training dogs, and I worked at BFF Pet Services, which I still work there now with Beasley. And I was like, man, I am just really missing the production side. Maybe someday I'll get back into it. I don't know. And this is just a couple of years ago I was thinking this, because I had taken a break from acting to kind of devote myself into training. That was just the direction my life was taking me, the season of my life, as I like to call it. So with that being said, I looked around and I said, wait a minute, why aren't we utilizing the dogs here at this group, at our facility? We have hundreds of clients, so beautifully talented dogs, all different breeds, shape sizes. And why aren't they coming to us? Like, we could give them such a great, talented dog in an instant. And I kind of sat back on that thought, and I said, why don't we start creating a group, and then I'll pitch that group to all the talent agencies. And so I didn't even know there were things of like animal talent agencies going on right now, but I guess there is. And so what I did is I created this group of a few dogs, and we called it the Bonafide Talent Group, which is a division of BFF Pet Services. First and foremost, it's not an agency. So I don't like take a cut from people's income. Like we don't run it like an agency. We run it more like a broker, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So I contacted say, we don't handle dogs, but these people do. And then I was able to get in touch with them.
Right.
The beautiful thing about that is dogs that are well trained save time on set, saves production time, and which saves money. So production hired our dogs, giving us a chance pretty quickly through some agencies, and we blew it out of the water. I mean, blew it out of the water with the dogs and how they worked on set. Just because BFF is really big about exposure and working our dogs and socializing them and getting them to be confident and positive reinforcement training, which is really important. And so we created the Bonafide Talent Group, and now it's a roster which is like over 100 dogs strong just in our area, but we have lots of different people in other areas that we have access to as well. It's a non-exclusive kind of group, so you can work with other people, et cetera, but you know, we try to drive the team to all filter their work through us if possible so we can keep growing. But it's been great. Since then, we've worked with Fox, NBC, Disney, HBO, Bravo, Paramount Pictures, Lionsgate, now we can say, and Rachel Ray, oh my gosh, Modern Dog Magazine, Us Weekly, on. And recently, SNL, which is like my lifelong dream.
I mean, whose isn't it? And there you go then, right up to SNL. So let's hear that story, because that was just hysterical. And I want the listeners to be able to hear it too. So take us through what happened.
It's amazing, and I have to give a huge shout out that I was not physically on SNL. I was filming in the Hamptons, so I was unable to be there. But Christina McCauley, who owns BFF Pet Services, owns a pug named Petunia. You can find her on Facebook. It's Pugnacious Petunia, and she's an adorable little pug. And she was hired by LTD Animal Actors. LTD is great animal actors. They go back to Rex Peterson, who did like Hidalgo and like all the big movies. And then his son, Ryan Peterson, now runs the agency with his fiance. So LTD Animal Actors hired Petunia, and they went on set, and they start actually rehearsing at 12 o'clock on Saturday. So, run Saturday night. And rehearsal went fine. They had a few prop changes because the pug was supposed to sit in a football helmet, and the helmet was just too small. So it just wasn't working. Yeah. So they were like, well, we don't know what to do. She's supposed to sit in a helmet. This is for a dog court scene. You can find it on YouTube. And then David Harbour, who is Hopper from the Stranger Things, was the host of the show. So he's a part of this too. And I don't know if you know her, but her name is Cicely Strong. Mm-hmm. She's part of Saturday Night Live. She's the actress that plays the judge. So, and this is really kind of funny because it was all supposed to be really controlled dog court, and then they hand her the pug, and she talks about how my pug sits in a football helmet all day. And like, just really funny little thing. Well, here we go to actually filming, and Petunia lands in the actress's lap, but she lands in such a big way because Petunia has a great personality, and she's so outgoing. But the football helmet gets kicked off of that girl's lap. And then Petunia just starts, like, not even allowing her to come up for air, constantly kissing her and wiggling, kissing and wiggling. And, like, the actress could not get a breath. And she still was able to get her lines out while trying to hold on to this little monster of a pug who is showering her with the abundance of kisses. So they did that, which they filmed, and they end up putting on YouTube. And that's not the same version they do for the live show.
Right.
So they, okay, we have a second chance. Great. We have a second chance. We'll do it again. Great. So they did it again, but they loved it so much that SNL actually rewrote the script and kept it. They said, just let her go in and do her thing. And so Petunia went in there and just like completely stole the show. And now it's actually viral. It's trending. It's got over 200,000 views in the past couple days.
Oh, wow.
It's gone completely viral, which is kind of an ode to, and I like to tell this to everybody, you can train your dog, right? You can try to make him as perfectly trained and well obedient as possible. But sometimes just letting a dog be a dog is going to be the best thing you could ever do.
Couldn't agree more with that.
Yep. and it might be the funniest
really
thing
true.
that happens too,
Yes. And so, and I have to say on the last note there, on Instagram, Cicely Strong made a note and said, I was feeling really down and I was sick the week before SNL. And then that pug just went in my lap and gave me kisses, which was kind of telling me, snap out of it. You're going to be okay.
Aww.
Be happy. And for such an accomplished improv actress to come out and say that when her skit was totally bombarded by this little pug, and to feel something from that, like in her heart,
yeah,
it's such an ode to why we love dogs. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. This show is making me love dogs even more right now. Talking to you, This specific episode is like really. I feel like what, Dad, we're doing good. This is what we should be doing. This is what we're here for. Absolutely, it's definitely our wheelhouse.
Absolutely. And, at the end of the day, you can strip out all of the labels and the success and everything alone, and you can just have your dog, and that's still enough.
That's
right.
Right.
What's really important. They're doing it for the right reason.
Perfectly said.
Couldn't have said it better ourselves, Chrissy. Yeah. So with that said, thank you so much for coming on today. Why don't you tell everybody where they could find you? I'm sure there's so many different avenues, but Instagram, Facebook, where can people look you up?
Yeah, so please follow us. So first and foremost, follow the Bonafide Talent Group. It's BFF Talent Group on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram. Just search it and follow us there because we put up casting calls too. So if you want to get involved, there might be an avenue for you there. And also Facebook, Instagram, Chrissy Joy, that's with a CH, and Good Beasley. And then you'll see Widby, my little puppy, is also on Beasley's Instagram as well. We haven't quite rebranded, but we're getting to that point. But yeah, follow us because we have a lot of adventures, and ask me questions and reach out and kind of just be along with our journey. We're not just all about working on set and showing those successes there, but we're here to show you like the behind the scenes and kind of the nitty gritty of it too. So we're just like you, we have kind of a unique job.
That's right. Thank you so much, Chrissy.
Thank you so much. That about wraps it up, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'd like to thank Chrissy Joy from the bottom of our hearts. You were so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on today, Chrissy.
Thank you, guys, and have a great week, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
We absolutely will. Thank you so much to our producer, Mark Winter. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel. It's called Grooming by Rudy. That's Grooming by Rudy on YouTube.com. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. We want to hear from you guys. You could also like Grooming by Rudy on Facebook, follow Grooming by Rudy on Instagram and Twitter. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.